Hi, my name is Rachelle Smith, entrepreneur, professional speaker, and author. Last time I talked about the importance of self esteem. Self esteem is so important, and how we feel about ourselves will certainly permeate each and every aspect of our lives. I shared some examples in terms of how struggling with self esteem will cause you to kind of sit on the sidelines, so to speak, in life, and you won't aggressively pursue opportunities, whatever opportunities may be in front of you. You'll sit back and you'll have this hesitancy towards approaching or going after things in life. Shared some examples, talked about the importance particularly of approaching people and how important that is. And again, if you struggle with self-esteem, you will have issues in that area. I gave you a couple of examples of bad approaches, and one thing I will tell you folks, and if you're afraid of approaching people, and this is actually one of the reasons why, when I think about, like I told you, I hate rejecting people. I think just most people in general, unless you're a socio or psychopath, like I said last time, you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You don't want to make people feel bad. And the golden phrase of approaching people, folks, take this one to the bank, is excuse me for interrupting, or I'm sorry for interrupting, and then go on and say what you're going to say. All right, that one phrase right there is so important. And I even think about, people that interrupt me and stuff at the gym, as I gave you a couple of bad examples last time. If somebody in the last 4.5 years, the one person that actually says that to me before interrupting me, will have my total undivided attention. All right, so just recognize something as small as that. I don't care if you're in a grocery store, if you're in the workplace, all right, if you're in some type of intramural sports league after work, whatever the case may be, pardon the interruption, or I'm sorry for interrupting, or excuse me for interrupting, then go on and say what you have to say. That's gold. So I want to talk about another dimension this time of self-esteem, and that is body image, all right? Won't turn this into a Fitness Friday episode as much as I want to. I could perhaps even save this one for 2017 and do this one separately as a Fitness Friday topic, but body image, folks. All right, how do you feel about yourself in terms of your appearance? All right, it's so important. All right, and we've all, I don't care who you are, everybody has struggled with this one at some point in their life. More than likely during your high school years, you should probably be shaking your head right now saying, well, yeah, I sure did back in the old days when I was in high school, whatever the case may be. We all struggled with this in terms of, again, you're insecure in high school for the most part. You want to fit in, that acceptance piece, you being accepted by your peers, and all of that is so important. So you're always comparing and competing in terms of, what you're wearing to what other people are wearing, and you don't want to stand out, and you want to look a certain way. And again, a lot of these images, particularly now, we've got social media, we've got technology, just being kind of at the forefront of our society in terms of the media, in terms of messaging and what we're exposed to. Really, the media and these portrayals of what is perfect and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable is just, it just continues. Again, we can go into a whole conversation on just, many of these. If you look at a magazine cover, they've been photoshopped, they've been altered and manipulated in some way, these images. And so just recognize, there's a whole consumer industry that is behind making people feel, and the success of that industry and those industries within that particular sector, basically, hinges on people feeling inadequate, inferior, not good enough. They don't measure up. People don't like who they are. They want to be someone else. They want to be like someone else. And folks, we are best when we are truly ourselves. And if this has been a struggle for you, like I said, it's been a struggle for everybody. There's nobody that leaves the planet without being, touched with this particular aspect in some way. All right, it could be, a height issue. And I'll share even some of my own examples. Okay, now I stopped drinking milk, white milk, back in, I think it was 7th grade. Just do not like the taste of it. I love vanilla ice cream. My absolute favorite dessert is vanilla ice cream, but just drinking a glass of milk, just white milk, I don't know. It's been years and years and years since I've done it. So haven't had milk in years, and so I decided, this was the latter part of my high school years, that I wanted to be tall. My dad, I was expecting this big growth spurt that just didn't seem to happen. And so, of course, my dad's 6'2". My mom is about 5'3", and so I was thinking, okay, it's time to make this happen. This hadn't happened yet towards the latter part of my high school years. And so, folks, I was taking calcium supplements. I was trying to create my own growth spurt. All right, create my own growth spurt, and it never happened. It was so funny. A couple weeks ago, I think it was about 2.5 weeks ago, my brother texted me and said, what's your shoe size? And, I told him, I wear a size 10 comfortably in any type of shoe. A size 10 will be perfect. In some types of shoes, I can wear a 9.5. And we had a funny moment where, he was like, really? I was like, I may not look like Bigfoot, but I do have big feet. The way I laugh. Again, I can laugh at myself now. Back in the high school years and, those younger years, I didn't have the confidence and the inner security to be able to laugh at myself and say, yes, I am Bigfoot. My feet continued to grow, but unfortunately my legs didn't catch up, so so I wanted to be tall, and it, didn't quite pan out, me being, 5'11", whatever, like I should have been in my mind. And so that was one of my high school. I wanted to be taller, and it never panned out. And of course, even now when I wear high heels, I'm about 5'10", in high heels. And so I think a lot of times people don't realize, how relatively short I am without the high heels. So that was funny. I've actually written about this one in my first book. When I was younger, I was like, as soon as I get old enough and I have the money, I'm going to have nose surgery just like Michael Jackson. And I look back at that and I'm like, what a joke. I mean, how authentic, with all due respect to Michael Jackson. Loved his music. He was certainly an icon of our era. But how realistic did that nose look compared to the rest of his face? You look back to his younger years and looked wonderful just as he was. But again, society will tell you, you need to have this look, you need to have that look. So I was going to do that. And, I can't even think the last year I thought to myself about having, nose surgery. I think I may have been in middle school or something when that was my dream, or elementary school. But again, just who cares, whatever. But folks, there can be so many different things. It could be your height. It could be your hair color. I mean, it could be anything, the length of your hair. It could be, you want a bigger butt. I mean, there's, you've got people injecting silicone into people's butts. I mean, there's just so many different ways and so many different types of surgeries and, in ways that people are trying to change their appearance and change who they look and change how they look. And if you've seen like a Dr. Phil episode, particularly those, what's formally termed body dysmorphic disorder, where you see these people and they look wonderful, but then they have all these body image issues, and then they're on Dr. Phil and these type of shows, and he's telling them all of these surgeries are not going to fundamentally change how you feel about yourself. Why is that, folks? Because that's deep down. That's within. Any type of facelifts or butt injections or tummy tucks, all of that, people can have surgery after surgery after surgery. And yes, the plastic surgeons are going to love that. Okay, they're going to love you. They're going to love that revenue you're bringing into their practice. All right, but is that going to change fundamentally who you are? No, it is absolutely not. And I think the most important thing in life, and I tell people over and over again, what are you most proud of, Rachelle, that you've achieved so far in life? The ability to wake up every day comfortable in my own skin. Because I'm telling you, in high school, I struggled with insecurity just like everybody else. It was a major issue for me. Wanted to be like this person, wanted to be like that person, comparing and competing and trying to change, not recognizing, I was good enough just as I was, folks. And so that is my message for you now. You think about your body and you look in the mirror and you want to find 25 things wrong and you can't find one thing that's right with you. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. All right. So I really want you to think about this concept today. Your body image. What have you done? What have you spent? How much of your unhappiness in life in terms of what you've done, what you haven't done, who you are fundamentally as a person is a result, or certainly has resulted in terms of how you feel about yourself. And that's something that can change. There's always a new day. There's always tomorrow. So be encouraged. But just recognize, reject those messages from the media. Again, I have a marketing and I have a sales background. So there's, like I said, whole industries that thrive on people not feeling good enough and feeling inadequate. all right? Because that's revenues in their coffers because they're able to sell you this and that and this and that, okay? Don't believe the hype, folks, all right? So do the necessary work on your inner life in terms of how you feel about yourself. It's so important. So I thank you so much for your time. Make it a wonderful day.